What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. We're going to be talking about the 10 best fragrances that you can get from Lattafa for the fall time. All of these are around $55 or less, and for the most part, they're around that $30 to $40 price range, unless somebody gets greedy, increases the prices, and just does a bunch of funny shit. It always happens. It always happens. So hit that subscribe button if you like content like this and you don't miss the future videos. So we're going to go ahead and get started with one of the neutral, I should say, unisex fragrances, having slightly femme aspects, but also something I've worn this and I've gotten compliments on it. It's called Lattafa's Nebras. This is a clone of Billie Eilish, and yes, it's marketed for women, and the most feminine part of that fragrance is going to be the bottle. But this is something that you can honestly rock. It's got some powdery sweetened vanilla with those floral, heavy floral aspect that's going to be responsible for the feminine traits and qualities. If you're not into unisex, don't even bother trying and grab it. There are other vanilla fragrances that you can go for that are gonna be better. But if you don't mind a little bit of florals, which, believe it or not, gets a lot of compliment, this is a great one to go with. The performance for this one is also pretty beastly. It's gonna last to the next day. And the projection for this is like the high end of moderate of 3 feet for about like 4 hours. This isn't going anywhere. For the occasions, I would personally rock this during special events and dates, and that's pretty much it, mostly for the fall and the winter time. A great one for the price. I think this one goes around 40 to 50. It's still not bad. Moving on to the next fragrance, it wouldn't be a fall list without Khamra. Khamra smells a lot like Angel Share, but actually Qissa Sava as well, a Middle Eastern niche brand. And this has like boozy, warm apple pie. That's everything that I know fall to be. Leaves, warm baked apple cinnamon, and that's what this is as well. With dates and spices in the performance, that's absolutely beastly, and projection, that is a room filler as well. The occasions for this is honestly a lot more versatile than just dates and special occasions, but that's what I would say it's most fitting for. The seasons is going to be the fall, the winter, and even during the earlier springtime. The best for this is going to be fall, winter, but it's a fragrance that everybody should have from Lattafa, especially for these coming cooler weather and seasons. If you live in climates where it only gets down to like 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you can still rock this during the, that's like fall weather basically. It's a really good one. Every person, unisex actually, should have this in their collection, but you have to enjoy sweet. If you don't, then probably stay away from it. It gives me candle vibes, but like next step up from that. Candle vibes will come with waxy, smelling a little bit cheap, but this does not, at least in my opinion. Moving on to the next fragrance. This smells a lot like Coral Fantasy, or I should say Valentino Born Aroma Coral Fantasy, called Jasur by Lattafa. It's not the best quality smelling one out of the lot, and it does smell like, you know, just a step below, maybe a step and a half below designer, but still, it still smells really good. It's got that crisp apple, some ginger, a little bit of spices, a lot of vanilla as well. It's ambery. It's a very playful and flirty fragrance. You rock this, nobody's gonna be questioning whether or not it's designer. That's for damn sure. It's just the OCD people who are like comparing this to Valentino. But the saving grace is the price point, right? It's like $45 or less, and it's absolutely worth the pickup. It's one of my favorite ones from Lattafa. Although, like I said, they have better quality smelling fragrances from the same brand as well, it still gets the job done and some. I would still personally rock this to special events and dates as well. The performance for this is where it's going to be moderate. It's about 7.5 hours, and the projection is like on the low end of the moderate as well. So occasions for this is pretty versatile, bros, whatever, man. It really doesn't matter. It's not really the most standoutish fragrance. It's a little bit sweet, ambery, crisp, and spicy. It's nothing too cloying, nothing too thick. So if you did decide to rock this one to the gym, you could probably get away with it, but the sweet fragrances are not always the best at the gym. Best seasons, fall, obviously, and the winter time, even during the springtime as well, this will work. For the price point, you're getting what I would say it's at an accurate price point in terms of the quality. Next fragrance has the quality of almost niche. This is called Vintage Radio. This is a clone of Initio's Paragon, which basically smells like jammy plum, a lot of woods, incense, and some peppers. I find this one to be unisex leaning masculine because of the Palo Santo and some of those woody incense vibes along with the peppers, but I think a woman can still rock this one. It smells like jammed up plum with some woods and a little bit of smoke, basically. The performance for this one is a little bit above average, anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours, and the projection for this one is on the low end of moderate, giving me about 2 feet at best. Occasions, I would say dates and special events like dinners, family dinners, Thanksgiving, etc. Seasons would be the fall and the winter time as well. And lastly, I would say personally that this is a more reserved style scent profile, very similar to how Initio's Paragon is, and in fact, that one's not going to give you much more in terms of projection. It will outlast this and it will outshine this a little bit more so, but you're talking about about a $200 price gap difference, which might not be worth it depending on how you quantify the value of your fragrance. So this smells really good. It smells damn near niche, and I would say it's one of the best ones from Lattafa for the fall time. One of the more popular fragrances is going to be Amir Al Oud Intense, and I picked this one over Raghba Wood Intense for the fall specifically because it has a couple of fresh green spicy aspects to it in comparison to Raghba Wood Intense. This is very close to By the Fireplace. I wouldn't really say very close actually. It's got a little bit more of that metallic fresh green that takes this one slightly more of a twist, if anything. The performance for this one though is very strong. It's beastly, and the projection is nuclear stuff. It does remind me of getting cozied up by the fireplace with some of those fresh aspects to it as well. If you don't like projectors, or if you don't like fragrances that are just strong, you're probably not gonna like this one. Occasions for this one's gonna be dates and special events. If you're gonna rock this to a date, please keep your sprays very minimal because, like I said, that fresh green spicy plus a beast mode performing fragrance can come off offensive if you overdo it with this one. Final thoughts on this one: I like Raghba Wood Intense more, but this is going to be better suited for the fall time. And if you're looking for projection, this one's gonna give you the more projecting fragrance for sure. I like rocking 1 Million Elixir and the Most Wanted Intense during the fall time. It gives me just these baked apple and pie vibes, like I said earlier. And this one is Lattafa's version of those fragrances. It's called Ensemble Silver. Believe it or not, I picked this up for like $27 at one point in time. Now, this doesn't smell like exactly designer quality. It might be just a tad below that, but still, it's very respectable for the price that you're paying for it. Spraying this on side by side by designer, yeah, you'll be able to tell the difference, but more specifically because of its potency and its strength. The scent profile of this is amber woody, a little bit of some citruses, maybe some sweetened mandarin or something like that, a little bit of spices and vanilla. So it kind of has that run-of-the-mill elixir, 1 Million Elixir, and that Azzaro fragrance that I was talking about. In terms of the performance, this is where this one kind of falls shy. It gives me average. I would say about 6 hours tops for me personally. In terms of the projection, it's also a low projecting fragrance, so 2 feet and below for the projection. Still, all things considered for the price, it still kind of has a saving, grace about it because of the fact that it's less than like 30 bucks. The occasions for this would be hanging out with the bros, going on dates and special occasions, maybe even to the office because, like I said, it's not an overpowering fragrance. Just keep into consideration that Ensemble Silver, at least for me, has not been the best performing, but one of the better smelling ones from their entire lineup. Next one also reminds me of a 1 Million, but Lucky. So now we've added that mandarin, nutmeg, vanilla, sugary, bubblegummy sweet with a little bit of jammy plum. It's actually pretty intoxicating. It's very sexy. This is called Ishq Ashiyukh Silver. This is their rendition, their take. Might not be the best one out there, but it is one of the best ones from Lattafa. It absolutely reminds me of the fall because of that whole baked plum vibe, and it gets, wow, yeah, that's very addicting. It gets very addicting. Now, the performance for this one is another one that's average. I wouldn't say it's more than about 6 hours for me, and the projection is also less than about 2 feet, but still, for what you're paying, it's not that bad of a deal. Depending on how much the 1 Million Lucky is at discounters, this would be a good deal at around $35. In terms of the occasions, this can be hanging out with the bros, going on dates, and special events. This is damn near designer quality. I just wish it performed a little bit better. For the right price, this is a great one, but in comparison to a lot of their fragrances, it's absolutely one of the best ones for the fall. Creamy, fruity, and polarizing. It's not gonna be for everybody. It's Bad Al Oud Honor and Glory. This smells like a pineapple creme brulee. It's got a lot of this ginger or turmeric, which gives it a zingy nature, but it's very much more spiced than that. It kind of smells like flan. Like, imagine pineapple flan that's been burnt at the top to a little bit of a browning, giving it a sugar, just a rough, what would it be called? Burnt sugar top. It's kind of what that one smells like. Not many people are gonna enjoy this one, but it's because it's very unusual. It's niche-esque. I would say that this treads in a niche territory, and the quality of this one's actually pretty good. The one thing about this though is that the performance is absolutely beastly in both departments of the longevity and projection, and that's also gonna set some people off that already don't like the scent profile. But if you do, this is like a 4 sprayer and you're done, bro. Like, when the hell do I ever say just 4 sprays? That doesn't happen, period. The occasions for this is gonna be special events. I don't know about dates just because of how strong it is, but you could probably pull it off if you wanted to. If you're looking for bang for buck and you quantify it in performance, this will give you exactly that. This one smells damn near niche quality, like BDK Gris Charnel, and it's called Lattafa's Liam Gray. I think that this is one of the best ones that they have in terms of quality, and the scent profile for this is very unusual. It's very different. If you're looking for something that's just like, oh, fresh and spicy or just compliment, look somewhere else, because this is now like treading into more unique and, like I said, niche fragrances. It's got tea, it's got some resins, it's also got the note of iris. It's a projecting and long-lasting fragrance. It's got this powdery, aromatic, ambery style scent profile that really stands out and smells different. I think it's pretty unisex. It does lean masculine because of the aromatic tea of the fragrance, and it performs. This is beast mode in terms of how long it lasts, and the projection is moderate, I would say, about 3 feet for the first 2.5 hours. On clothing, it'll last to the next day. The occasions for this could be dates, it could be hanging out with the bros, it could be even to the office, and I would say even special events during specifically the fall time. The fall, it's gonna be the absolute best, but you can rock in early spring and also during the winter time because of its performance. But that's pretty much it. If you're looking to get into an unusual scent profile at an affordable price, this is a great one to do that with. Last but not least, I'm gonna give you guys a double whammy, but we're still only gonna call it a 10. So a +1 bonus for you guys is the Nashamas. The reason I'm bringing both of these up is because one is definitely more masculine and the other one is unisex, slightly leaning feminine. Both of these fragrance bottles are not the best looking bottles in the world, so let's get that out of the way. The top is like this marble plastic, but the scent profiles of these are gorgeous. This smells a lot like YSL La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique with a little bit more lavender. So it's frothy, it's creamy, it's barbershoppy, but it's also aromatic, spicy, and warm. It's sexy, it's masculine, and it's long lasting as hell. This stuff lasts to the next day on clothing and it projects for a solid 4 hours, about 3 feet moderately, basically. The occasions for this, you could signature scent this one, but dress it up more so than dress it down, okay? One of the best ones for sure. In terms of a Nashama, this one. Now this is another jammy, fruity, plum, maybe a little bit of floral, softening things out. The florals is what makes this one a bit more unisex. It also douses it in sugar. So imagine Paragon, now add some florals to it, tone down the incense, and add a bunch of sugar. So ladies, if this sounded good, this is gonna be even better for you. And Nashama Caprice also lasts the entire day and projects for like a solid 2 hours of about 3 feet. The occasions for this is much more versatile also than the vintage radio as well. Because of its floral nature and the added sugars, it's less serious. So you can wear it going to the office, to dates, special events, hanging out with your girls, or with your boys. It's all good. It smells really good. The seasons is the fall and the winter time and maybe the early spring. Nevertheless, these were the best 10 Lattafa fragrances that you could pick up for the fall time. I've got over 100, bro, like there's not a Lattafa fragrance that drops that I don't pick up. And out of all of them, these were the best when I was thinking straight up fall. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next Lattafa and other affordable fragrance videos and niche and designer. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.